Hey everyone, and welcome to MacTuts Plus. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to map out your wireless networks using NetSpot. Unlike apps such as Wi-Fi Explorer, NetSpot allows you to draw out a map of the building you are in and locate the wireless networks, showing you exactly where dead spots and low signal networks are located. So let's begin. Launch NetSpot from your Applications folder. When the application is launched, you will see the option to create a new survey, and we're given 4 options to load a map, install a sample map, draw a map, or set up a blank map. Let's take a look at the sample map. Here we can see a diagram that's been accurately drawn on paper and scanned in. We can use this as a basis of our map for the building. As this map has been drawn to scale, we can let NetSpot know exactly what the dimensions are by specifying 2 points and adding the distance between them. We would do this with something like a separating wall. However, this isn't a map of our location, so let's click back, remove the zone, and start a new map. Click Draw Map. You will need to specify the overall dimensions of the office or building that you are in. You can specify this in feet or meters. Once you've specified the overall dimensions, you are given a canvas similar to a publishing application or photo editor. There are a selection of drawing tools at the top, such as a line tool, pencil tool, rectangle tool, circle, and even the ability to add text. Select the rectangle tool. I find it easier to just draw the actual. Plot the outside wall. I'm fortunate that the location I am in is perfectly rectangular. Should you need to draw any odd-shaped or right-angled walls, you can use this tool, which will allow you to do point-to-point lines without having to manually create them one at a time. In an office environment, this tool is very useful to draw office desk locations, so you can work out exactly where users are sitting. I'm going to undo these lines and just draw them all in using the single line tool. Using the tools, draw out an overall map of your location. You will notice that there are rulers on the top and the left hand side. These are in the same scale as you specified when you first created the map. Don't worry about being 100% accurate. You will find that this is more of a rough layout and drawing than an actual realistic one. I've taken some artistic license with the shape and sizes of my rooms. They aren't as straightforward as they appear to be. Since this is a general map of the building I'm in anyway, it doesn't need to be completely accurate. And here we have our finished map. The gaps in the lines just denote where the doors are located. If you like, you can add text labels to specify each of the rooms. If you're mapping a building with lots of offices or rooms, it's definitely worth labeling them just to keep track of where the weak spots are. Once you've finished with your map and labels, click Next. Now that we've drawn out our map, we need to tell NetSpot what the scale is. Although we've had the rulers on the top and the left, these weren't fully accurate. Just like with the sample map we saw at the beginning of this screencast, we can specify 2 points and provide the distance between them. This wall was actually 12 feet long, but using the rulers I've been able to get it quite accurately, but we'll specify the exact length. Click Let's Get Started, and we're now ready to analyse each room. We do this by telling NetSpot where we are on the map. Once we do that, it will scan our surrounding area, providing Wi-Fi information. I'm currently at my desk, so I'm going to specify where that is located in the room, and it will start to scan. NetSpot will scan all the local wireless networks and provide signal strength. As you can see, NetSpot has now listed all the wireless networks that my Mac can detect in that room, along with signal strength and signal information. All of the information is valid for the small green area it provides on the map. Now we move around the building, specifying where we are for it to scan. As I enter each room and specify where I'm located, NetSpot will scan that area, providing Wi-Fi information. The more you walk around and the more spots you scan, the more accurate the information will be, and better map you'll be provided with. Depending on the size of your building, it may take some time to map out the entire area. Any area that isn't covered by green during this process is an area that has no information. You can decide to continue scanning, or you can stop the scan for now. As soon as you stop the scan, NetSpot will provide you with information it has currently found. Because we've done a wireless scan in many different locations within the building, NetSpot is able to triangulate the exact location of any wireless access points. For example, this is my Airport Express base station, and it's in the exact location it is within the building. I've not had to specify that or tell NetSpot its rough location. Should there have been any more wireless routers within the building, it would have found them and plotted them on the map as well. NetSpot graphically displays the signal strength using a colour gradient, with a key at the bottom. We can also select from various other options to visualise. If I choose signal level, you can see that the best signal level is right next to the base stations. If I select quantity of access points, you'll see I'm able to pick up far more access points from the bedroom than I am from any other room. All of these options make it really easy to find out exactly where your signal strength lies and where it's weak. If you find you want to fill in the dead spots, where there is no option to visualize any information, you can select Resume Scan and continue scanning like before. Simply head to a location, click on the map of where you are located, and it will do a new scan. You don't need to record any new information, it will add it to your existing scan. As you can see, I've gone to both corners of the bedroom in order to try and fill out these top gaps. You can then save your map so you can refer to it at a later date. NetSpot includes functionality to add multiple zones. Think of these as multiple floors in the same building. Depending on the size of your office, you may have more than one floor with more than one access point. We can add another zone by either loading an existing map or drawing one from scratch. If your office has the same layout on every floor, you can duplicate this zone, saving you having to draw everything again. Furthermore, each zone does not need to necessarily stay within the same dimensions you specified at the beginning of this tutorial. Each floor can have a different width and length. On each floor, NetSpot will be able to plot the exact location of any wireless base stations, as well as provide any signal strength and signal to noise ratio information that you might need. So we can differentiate between each zone, let's rename the zone. Using the menu, select Rename Zone, and then specify the zone name. As you can see, we can select each zone by using the top left menu. Here we have a drop-down that has my new zone name. We can also export these maps using an Export to PDF function. Select Export to PDF and then save a copy to your desktop, where Preview will open with the PDF loaded. This will include all the wireless network names and signal information, as well as the signal strength map that we looked at in NetSpot. As you can see in the exported PDF, as well as in NetSpot, there are a great deal of wireless networks in my location, so it will be hard to know what the signal strength of just my networks is. NetSpot has noticed that there is a wireless access point within the proximity to the study. However, because it doesn't know it's on the floor above, NetSpot has assumed it's on the same floor and plotted its position. We need to remove this since this is not one of our networks. I can simply untick the wireless access point name and it would remove it from the list. However, all of the other wireless networks are also interfering. These are being plotted on the map. We need to make sure that only our wireless networks are the ones we're interested in. NetSpot can calculate the position of most wireless network access points and bases their distance in relation to their signal strength. If we reduce the signal strength proximity using this slider, we can show many more wireless access points. However, all we're really doing is showing all the wireless access points with a very weak signal. This is not something we want to do. In fact, we want to do the exact opposite and only show the networks with a fairly strong signal, limiting them to the ones in our building. We can filter the wireless network list and only show the networks we're interested in on the heat map by using the Configure button at the bottoms of the screen. If you're managing a network where there's multiple access points on various channels, you can filter this by selecting only the channels that you want to see on the heat map. To make things easier, NetSpot only displays the channels of networks it has detected. It won't display all the available channels if there are no networks on them. However, I'm only interested in my airport base station. Using the Configure button, we can deselect all the networks. This will allow me to select just my wireless networks. As you can see, the heat map looks a little bit different from before. The signal is much weaker in the bedroom and is much stronger in the living room, near where those access points live. Despite the close proximity of the base stations to the study, I do get quite a weak signal in there. This will allow me to better position my desk should I want to improve this. To demonstrate an extreme example, I'm going to select some of the weaker wireless networks that are located on different floors. As you can see, some of these BT hotspots provide a very weak signal. Although their signals may be weak, they are still providing some sort of wireless coverage. Using this information, as well as the wireless channel and signal strength, it can allow you to better position your wireless networks to get the most out of them and to avoid any potential wireless interference. NetSpot makes a great tool to get the most out of your wireless network. On its own, it's enough to provide you with some graphical information regarding the best position for your wireless network. To get the most out of this application, I'd recommend using it along with other apps such as Wi-Fi Explorer, which provides a more detailed graphical information regarding the signal and wireless channels of the wireless networks nearby. By using both apps in tandem, you'll be able to truly get the most out of your wireless network, avoiding any potential interference and making sure every room is covered as much as possible. Best of all, NetSpot is a free app on the Mac App Store. Thanks for watching this tutorial from Mac Tuts Plus. If you have any comments or feedback, we'd love to hear them.